Good afternoon and welcome to Updates with Superintendent Skretta. I'm Mindy Burback, Communications Director for Lincoln Public Schools. This series is an opportunity to have a conversation with Dr. Skretta about those timely topics that are impacting Lincoln Public Schools.
Good afternoon, Mindy. Always great to be with you.
Always great to have a conversation with you, Dr. Skretta, especially after a board meeting. Last night's
Especially after the conclusion of a school year.
Absolutely.
Go LPS. Good job, team.
Well, last night at the board meeting, it was our first board meeting after the end of the school year. The board considered a school safety grant.
They did, yeah.
And with the U.S. Department of Justice, what would that grant do? What would it provide for us?
So, Office of Juvenile Justice grant, and really a reflection of the continuing collaboration with the City of Lincoln, Lincoln Police Department, and more expansively, the work that our SROs do in concert with our school administrators. And the focus of the grant is really on building out training supports. And we can actually reference some of what we do within LPS that provides annual trainings for our school resource officers that not only meet but exceed all the statutory requirements for those positions. And so the grant application that we're going to be submitting now will provide additional training supports for both our SROs and our school administrators to continue to support the more ongoing efforts of the Safe and Successful Kids Interlocal.
And we've actually, I think Director Joe Wright, Security Director Joe Wright, spoke about this last night at the board meeting. He said, we're seeing great results in the data that we present to the SSK Interlocal Board. And so, and you attended one of those trainings this morning that was going on with our SROs.
Yeah, so this morning over at Scott Middle School, that school is serving as the host site for an annual combined training that brings together school administrators from the secondary level all across the district with our school resource officers. And just the fact that we're coordinating those trainings in collaboration is an indication of how exemplary the program is and the level of partnership that exists that's really evolved over the years through that Safe and Successful Kids Interlocal.
We really have built a great community partnership with Lincoln Police, Police Chief Morrow, and the mayor, and the city council members with the SSK board.
Yeah, it's kind of an all-in effort, and so the SSKI has been in existence for years now, and we've built out supports through SSKI to add threat assessment components and mental and behavioral health supports. And so, you know, when you layer in those protective factors, it really creates a better, more sustainable school safe culture.
We're very fortunate to have that here in Lincoln. Now, we're already looking towards next school year, but we just finished this school year. Summer school is getting ready to kick off tomorrow, I believe. Staff are training right now, getting ready to go. We're super excited to have 2,000 students in our high school summer school. What does that feel like?
Yeah, so the host site for summer school, we've consolidated to one host school, and that's Lincoln High. Great spot, centrally located. Grateful to have LHS serving as the host site for summer school. As you indicated, that's for students who are 9 through 12, so it's high school, summer school. There's, I think, almost 50 course offerings that are available, and in addition to that, there's 8 e-learning options that students have. So just a plethora of great course options for students to remediate, accelerate, get some requirements taken care of, and give themselves that many more options for their schedule during the next regular and full academic year.
You know, my kids, both of them, took advantage of the summer school. Some people think, or, you know, there's that misconception that it's only for credit recovery, but really it allows our students to get ahead or jump start. If they're in a focus program, maybe that they can get some of those credits that they're not able to get during the school year.
Absolutely. It just empowers students to be able to pursue their pathway and maximize their potential. So it's great that we're able to offer it, and again, really incredible reflection of the dedication of our LPS students and their desire to get those credits, take advantage of those course options, maximize learning opportunities when you see those kind of numbers for a summer school program. And I think it's 6 weeks.
Yeah, and the communications team will be out covering some of those classrooms during the summer. But my communications team had a blast this last week of school, as they always do, covering the last week of school. How was the last week of school for you?
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was basically just we had celebrations and end of year commencement ceremonies throughout. It was amazing. So a week ago, Monday, we had the board's organizational meeting, the annual organizational meeting of the board, and we had 3 new board members and 1 re-elected incumbent, Barb Byer, take the oath of office. So they're official and they're on the board now, and just here last night had their initial board meeting with the newly assembled board. So that was great. That was Monday night. And then Tuesday night, we started with commencement celebrations. And Tuesday, I think, was Yankee Hill. Wednesday was the Independence Academy for our 18 to 21-year-olds, all about life skills, employability skills, amazing celebration hosted at the Career Academy. And then Thursday was Bryan Community's commencement at East High School in the auditorium. And Friday through Sunday, rocking and rolling with all of the traditional high school commencement ceremonies, every single one of them hosted at PBA, and PBA serving as a host site for each of those commencement ceremonies. Again, really grateful for the city-school partnership and the cooperation that it takes on the calendar to block off that weekend annually over the Memorial Day holiday. So Friday night was Lincoln Northeast, and then we concluded with things on Sunday with Southeast High School was the last one, and wrapped up about 5 p.m. on Sunday.
Wow. So over 3,000 students walked across the stage, got their diploma.
Yeah.
Pretty cool experience.
Oh, it's a celebration. It's a celebration of an incredible educational milestone, and so just so fun to be a part of those, and really neat to see the ways in which school culture is reflected in those celebrations, and also quite remarkable to just witness the performing skills, the performing arts skills of the soloists, the choirs that were celebrating the occasion. Really grateful to the junior ROTC kids. Those students did an amazing job
They did.
as color guard for each ceremony, and the rhetorical skills of the student speakers at each ceremony were just outstanding. It was really entertaining and enlightening to hear their comments shared with their fellow graduates.
That's probably my favorite part, is hearing the different perspectives and the different students from each school. And I know that that'll be in upcoming glimpses at our next board meeting.
Very cool. That'll be fun. I look forward to that. And you referenced that the communications team has fun doing that, and while I don't doubt that, I'm not skeptical because they are really fun events. The reality is that it is an arduous commitment. Like, just the sheer time commitment involved, and the technical expertise required to be able to ensure that all the media around those events is reflective of the importance of and honors the occasion. Really, really grateful to the communications team, and just the sheer dedication required to support all of those commencement ceremonies throughout the week.
Well, thank you. I know the team takes great pride in taking photos and providing the video live stream to our families and our community. And we couldn't do it without Pinnacle Bank Arena and LNK TV.
So I was wondering, like, how many thousand photos like Brent took over the course of it, because as I'm up there on stage, I'm up there on the raised platform for multiple commencement ceremonies, and you're just kind of periodically glancing out, and then you're scanning the crowd, and it's like, oh well, there's Brent, and there's Brent, and then there's Brent, and he's just like,
yep.
He's all over the place. He's like the paparazzi.
He's like
for
the
graduates.
paparazzi, yeah. And they're now the team's going through and editing those photos and trying to get them up on the website.
Yeah, very
so,
cool. That's great.
Yeah, it's a great source of pride for the communications team.
Well, families love it. So
absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for all that.
Well, another thing you got to do the last week of school is you had a challenge issued to you by Miss Simsick's class in Huntington Elementary for the last week of school.
Huntington really threw down the gauntlet.
Absolutely.
And the kids in Miss Simsick's class were like, hey, we understand you're going to be throwing out the first pitch at the annual 5th grade celebration, going on to 6th grade, Haymarket Park, Salt Dogs. Let's go. And they felt it would be at least respectable if I threw the opening pitch at 80 miles per hour.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah. And did you practice?
No, I did not practice. I was, however, bestowed upon me was this wonderful commemorative Lincoln Salt Dogs baseball, autographed by the catcher. Oh yeah, okay, that pretty much says I'm official. I got it down. So this was the grip, and I just want to thank Charlie Meyer for little coaching. He's the president of the Salt Dogs, and he was like, "Look, high release point, because you're going to be up there on the mound." And you don't want to throw it in the dirt right in front of you.
Right.
Said that happens all too often. You know, it's a cringe moment if you do that. So there you go. And the catcher was like, plus, it's further than you think. And I got out on the mound and I'm like, the plate is like a mile away.
Right.
Yeah.
No pressure in front of 3,000 fifth grade
No,
students.
screaming fifth grade students.
Right.
Just the sheer decibel level was
Right.
overwhelming. I mean, no. So, yeah, I one-hopped it over the plate.
But you made it to the glove. Almost.
Yeah, thanks to the quick reflexes of the catcher. Yeah, I did.
It's always such a great event and an opportunity. And like you said, another great community partnership with the Salt Dogs, our PTOs, PTAs, and
Incredible.
helping with transportation, the
Yeah.
coach buses, everybody that works together to pull that off.
Again, the logistics required to bus 3,000 plus fifth graders in and get them marching in some sort of alignment and fairly efficiently into the stadium. Very impressive. Props to the principals and all the chaperones who helped out.
Very good. Well, we do have a lot of fun here at Lincoln Public Schools, but we also work on a lot of business. We're getting ready for our annual budget process. What does that look like as we get headed into the summertime?
Yeah, so the budgetary process and the planning for it, throughout the month of May, what we've done is, and this is really all spearheaded under the leadership of Dr. Liz Standish, our Associate Superintendent for Business Affairs, and then our Board Finance Committee, which is one of our standing committees for the Board of Education. And in the month of May, it's a lot of pre-planning, it's a lot of discussions between Dr. Standish and the members of the Finance Committee, and just gathering some initial input as we identify, in alignment with our strategic plan for district systems and operations, what our key expenditure priorities will need to be for the next year. And we look at staffing areas and we look at investments in facilities and operations and really try to comprehensively address every facet in the pre-planning process. And in the month of May, a lot of those conversations are internal. Now, as we go into June, we're going to have more of the public facing and opportunities for the public to provide input. And that comes kind of as we get into the latter part of June and the legislative session wraps up. Because frequently the legislative session will have some implications for what certification of state aid looks like, what additional impacts such as retirement legislation that went through under LB 645 will have on the school's annual budget. So we're able to do some analysis once the session winds down. And following that, then in the latter part of May, or rather June, we get into June 25th, we have a presentation and budget forum, both at noon and 6 p.m. And then on the 25th of June, we open our online input window. And this is all part of a really conscientious effort from the Lincoln Public Schools to ensure full transparency and robust public input and dialogue about the budget. And that's something that is of fundamental importance to our Board of Education to ensure that we are very conscientiously soliciting the input of the public in budget development, because those input sessions can really help have a formative impact on where we land, because the budget itself is not formally adopted by the Board of Education until the month of September.
You touched on a couple important things. The first is that our board believes in a fully transparent budgeting process. And I think that's one thing I have found working at Lincoln Public Schools is we communicate about the budget process, starting with the work session where it's first publicly, the proposed preliminary budget is first presented. Then we have the two forums on the 25th and the one on the 26th. We have it in person and virtually. We have the online forum for people to submit questions or concerns.
Yep.
Liz Standish is available to make presentations to
Very
different
accessible, very
community groups,
responsive to
answer
requests
questions.
from community groups to present, and always happy to do it because, you know, we want the public to be knowledgeable and informed. And look, civic, family, and community engagement is also a cornerstone of our strategic plan, and so we really want to engage the public in this process.
And there have been times, some people think that the budget's already set by the time we get to June, but that's not factual. I mean, last year we made adjustments in July based on public feedback.
Yeah, and the reality is we don't even know what assessed valuations are until they're finalized from the county assessor August 20th annually. So there's a lot TBD on the budget.
So we are determining what our budget may be, but there's a lot of variables like state legislature, assessment, evaluations.
Exactly, and we've got to account for all that. So it's a very dynamic process, and we welcome the public's input.
Very good. All right, well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. If you have any questions, please submit it through our website on the blue Contact Us button or on our Facebook page.
Awesome.
Until next time.